Okay, just a couple of things that we want to look at today in Inventor. So I'm going to start a new part. This time I'm going to do it in the metric. So I'll click on metric here, select on standard part right here, and go ahead and create. And then it's going to bring up my typical thing like this. Notice, or you can go in, you can mess around with document settings. So I can do things like units, like I have here. So again, you see that I've got millimeter here. If I want to change the display precision, that sort of thing, you can mess around with that. Okay, you can set up your grids and your snaps. I'm not a big fan of dealing with this, but if you want to do that, you can do that. So anyway, you can play around with this. This is again in the document settings under the tool ribbon here, so I can go into document settings if I want. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start a sketch now, and I'll just do it right here. First thing I want to show you, and this one's pretty straightforward. You've got this drop down. You've got a few different things you can do. I'm just going to do the rectangle, but you can see you can do some slots and different polygons, rectangles, things like that. The 2-point rectangle is pretty simple. You just click the 2 corners like this and place it like that. Again, I can come in and place my dimension. You'll see that, again, I'm in millimeters here. Okay. One thing that I want to show you is that, if you click, let me go ahead and accept that. And then I try to create a new dimension, right? You can come down here. There's like 4 things that are pretty close to one another. And it's not just with dimensions. Anytime you're trying to select something. And if it's not working out, you can right click on it, click select other, and it gives you kind of a drop down. And you see the point, curve 1, curve 2, right? So I could choose, say, that point. Okay. Again, I could come over here, do the same thing, right click, hit select other, and then, this just helps if there's certain things that you're trying to dimension, click, choose, and you can't quite get it just because there's so many things going on. That right click can be really helpful in bringing things up to find what it is exactly that you're looking for. Okay. Now, the other thing right click can help is, say, let's do a circle here. Okay, and it'll automatically snap maybe there to the midpoint. But if you want to force the issue, make sure that it snaps to what you want to, you can again right click and you get this point snaps, and you can go ahead and select midpoint or whatever it is, kind of like the object snap in AutoCAD. So now wherever I click, it'll for sure select the midpoint. Okay, same thing. I can right click and point snap to, say, an endpoint, right? And it'll force me to snap to, one of these endpoints. Okay. So again, that right click button can be very helpful in creating different things. Now, one thing that I'm not going to spend a lot of time with, but the book kind of walks you through, and I'll let you play around with it if you want, just because I don't use it that much, is this measure feature. I'd rather just do dimensions, but you can go in and you can look at perimeters or areas, different things like that. Okay, so you can play around with that on your own. Again, the book walks you through some of that. Okay, I won't go into too much detail with that. However, I'm going to extrude this just so I can do a few things, or one more thing. Okay, because in the past, if we wanted to place a hole, we would draw a sketch with the circle and then cut it. But I can directly place a hole using, say, this item right here, where you click on the surface you want the hole, and then you click on basically, the edges that you want to dimension it from, like so. And you can change these dimensions, make that 20, make this, whoops, hit enter. Did not want to end that, so I can right click here, go into edit feature, and I can double click on this guy, and I can hit, whatever it is, 10 meters. Okay, and then edit feature. Sorry about this, gang. You can select the size of the hole, and again, a lot of times it's easier. Maybe over here, I can make it 6 millimeters, not 6 meters. That would be bad. A 6 millimeter hole. Okay, and again, I could click on 10 here. Okay, I can set, well, the directions, not really. There's only one real way. You can go down a certain distance. You can go through all. I'm going to go through all. Things like that. You can add you can tap it, basically put threads on it if you need to. Okay, we're just going to leave it open or just like a solid hole. But you can place this hole and do it directly. You can do things like counter bore, okay? And you'd have to go in and put all these different um, dimensions in here. I suppose it has to be bigger. Is that the problem it's having, right? So you can see you could do, well, I'll just do this counter bore like this, but there's lots of different things you can do. You can do a countersink, counter bore. You can do lots of different holes. And again, if you've got a more complex hole, or you can just place it directly rather than doing the extrusion. And then when you're done, you just go ahead and click OK. And now I have a counter bore hole that I can place in there. So again, to do that, you just directly place your hole, click on the surface you want, select your diameters, right? Select your type of hole that you have, just maybe there's no, yeah, blah, 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 and go through and deal with that. So that's just another way that I can do holes, a little bit more of a direct way. So if you need to make changes to the hole, you can easily do it over here, and that sort of thing. So that's really all we needed to show this week. So the book will walk you through a few other things, but in general, that's what we need. So good luck, and talk to you later.